1 Samuel chapter 30. And it came to pass in the entering of David and of his men to Ziklag on the 3rd day, that Amalek made an attack upon the south and upon Ziklag, and struck Ziklag, and burnt it with fire. And the women and all the ones in it, from small unto great, they did not put to death man nor woman, but they took them captive, and went forth in their way. And David and his men came unto the city, and behold, it was burnt with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captive. And David and his men lifted their voice and wept, until whenever there was not strength in them to weep any longer. And both the wives of David were captured, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was afflicted very much, for the people said to stone him, for all the people were in severe pain of soul, each over his sons and over his daughters. And David was fortified by the Lord his God. And David said to Abiathar the priest, son of Ahimelech, lead forward the ephod. And Abiathar led forward the ephod to David. And David asked through the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And the Lord said to him, pursue, for in overtaking you shall overtake them, and in rescuing you shall rescue. And David went, he and the 600 men with him, and they come unto the rushing stream of Besor, and the extra ones stopped. And about 400 men pursued, and 200 men stood, who stayed on the other side of the rushing stream of Besor. And they find an Egyptian man in the field, and they take him, and bring him to David, and give to him bread, and he ate. And they gave him water to drink. And they give to him a piece of dried cluster of figs, and 2 dried grape clusters. And he ate, and his spirit stood up in him, for he had not eaten bread, and had not drank water 3 days and 3 nights. And David said to him, who are you, and from what place are you? And the Egyptian servant lad said, I am a bondman of a man, an Amalekite, and my master left me, for I was unwell, today being 3 days. And we made an attack upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the ones of the part of Judea, and to the south of Caleb. And Ziklag we burnt in fire. And David said to him, will you lead me to this troop? And he said, if you swear by an oath indeed to me, according to God, to not put me to death, and to not deliver me into the hands of my master, then I will lead you to this troop. And he led him. And behold, these were dispersed upon the face of all the land, eating and drinking and celebrating over all the great spoils which they took from out of the land of the Philistines, and from out of the land of Judah. And David came upon them, and struck them from the morning star and until evening, and of the next day. And not a man was preserved from out of them, but only 400 boys who mounted upon camels and fled. And David removed all which the Amalekites took, and both his wives he rescued, and not one thing perished to them from small and unto great, and unto sons and daughters from the spoils, and unto all what they took of theirs. All the things David returned. And David took all the flocks and the herds, and led them away before the spoils. And concerning those spoils it was said, these are the spoils of David. And David came to the 200 men being left behind of the troop going after David, that stayed at the rushing stream of Besor. And they came forth to meet David, and to meet the people with him. And David came forward unto of the people, and asked them the greetings for peace. And every pestilent and wicked man responded of the men warriors going with David, and said, For they did not pursue with us, we shall not give to them from out of the spoils which we rescued. But let each take away his wife and his children, and let them return. And David said, You shall not do thus, my brothers, after the delivering up of the enemy by the Lord to us, and guarded us, and the Lord delivered up the troop coming upon us into our hands. And who will heed these your words? For they are not inferior to us. For according to the portion of the one going down to war, so shall be the portion of the one staying by the equipment. According to the same they shall be portioned. And it came to pass from that day and forward, that it became for an order and for an ordinance in Israel until this day. And David came to Ziklag, and sent to the elders of Judah, and to his neighbors of the spoils, saying, Behold, a blessing to you from the spoils of the enemies of the Lord. To the ones in Bethel, and to the ones in Ramoth of the south, and to the ones in Jatir, and to the ones in Aror, and to the ones in Siphmoth, and to the ones in Eshtemoa, and to the ones in Rachal, and to the ones in the cities of the Jeremielite, and to the ones in the cities of the Kenite, and to the ones in Hormah, and to the ones in Beer Ashan, and to the ones in Athak, and to the ones in Hebron, and into all the places which David went there, he and his men.